Hi ladies, so I'm here to do the what we did differently video. I asked if you ladies wanted to see this type of video on Facebook and you did, so here I am. So thankfully I did take a bit of notes throughout this cycle so I don't just wing it like I always do. Again, excuse the hair, I have no idea what to do with it. It's so dry, it's really coarse and just not sitting right for me. So anyway, I'll just get straight into it, what we did differently. So firstly, IUI obviously is the main thing we did differently. Even though I had previous IUIs before that failed, this one just seemed to run so smoothly and my body reacted so well to the gonal F injections this time. It was a much higher dose, and instead of starting on cycle day 2, I started on cycle day 3 of my cycle. I don't know if that made a difference or not, but this cycle worked, so maybe it did. I thought because I normally have AF for 7 to 14 days, I thought I would start on cycle day 3 instead of 2. So it gave my body enough time to bleed, if that makes sense, because I get really heavy AF. So I started the injections. They were 200 IU a day, and I was taking them at 6 p.m. every day at dinner time. So I can remember it's dinner time, it's time for my injection. And AF stopped at cycle day 5. So I knew then that was a really good sign that my body was reacting to the injections. I had severe cramping on cycle day 4 and early cycle day 5. Like cycle day 4 was really bad cramping. So I think the fact that it was taking effect and stopping my AF. So I then went for a follicle scan. I think my first one was like cycle day 10, something like that. I should have wrote that down, but I didn't. And I already started having really good follicles. I think it was earlier than that, because I had the IUI on cycle day 15. I should have looked back. If I'll go back to previous videos and I'll put it down here when I had my first follicle scan, but it's in the previous videos. Either way, I had, I think, 2 or 3 follicles growing really well. And then I went back for my second follicle scan and I had 4 that was looking very mature and 1 that was not so mature. So I had the IUI at cycle day 15, I think, or 14. Man, I should have done notes for that. I'm so sorry. And I ovulated on August the 11th, so the day after I had the IUI, or during the night. So, but what we did differently, so the IUI was a big thing. I think also the fact that I had a 7-month break, so I had no fertility drugs. I didn't do any fertility treatment since December last year, so I had all this year off and I just concentrated on eating healthy. I gave up all soda, especially diet soda, in January. I wasn't having any kind of soda at all. I gave it up completely. I was consistent with all my supplements and vitamins, which is, I also done a video on what vitamins and supplements I have been doing. I made sure I ate eggs and spinach at least once a day, every day. I made sure I had greens every day, because I read that even eating greens every day can improve fertility just by eating the greens every day. So I made sure I did that. Diet as a whole, I made better choices. I always had whole grain breads and brown rice instead of white. I lowered the amount of coffee I drank and definitely upped the water intake. So did hubby. We both stuck to our medication for diabetes, metformin, supplements. I think vitamin E helped a lot, and hubby getting his blood sugars under control. That is one thing I didn't do previous pregnancy cycles, was on vitamin E. I've been on vitamin E consistently this whole 7 months. And in my supplement video, I did a link to why vitamin E is so good for fertility. Me and hubby both lost some weight. Hubby was going to the gym We both were staying active. Like I said, I let my body have a 7-month break, letting it get unfamiliar from all the drugs. So when I did do the gonal F, it was a shock to my system. I seem to respond better to medication or fertility drugs if I haven't had them for a long time. When I was doing the Clomid, I did a lot of Clomid every second cycle or something, and it didn't work. So when I had my last IUI and I had my last injection cycle, I said I was going to give myself a break. And something, I don't know what it was, but something just kept telling me, wait for July. I could have done this IUI in April, May, June. Like, he was ready to do it in April, and things just weren't lining up for me. Like, either I was sick or my husband was sick, or just nothing seemed to go right. And then I thought, something just kept telling me, wait for July, wait for July. So I waited for July, and maybe it was meant to be to have it in July because it worked. So before we had the IUI, like on the way, the day of the IUI, and hubby had to give his sample, I can't remember if I read it somewhere or someone told me on their IVF cycle that they gave their husband an energy drink to help. I don't know if it's true or not, or if it works, but they gave their husband an energy drink to help the sperm wake up or get energetic or something like that. And I try anything. So the drive up there to the clinic, hubby drank a big can of energy drink. And those little suckers, they were swimming so fast and straight ahead and not going around in circles, and they weren't headless or deformed or anything like the previous IUI. So maybe the energy drink had something to do with it, maybe it didn't, maybe it's just a myth or wives' tale, but I'll try anything. Also, after the IUI, when we had sex BD, 2 days after the IUI, so the day after I thought I ovulated, or we predicted that I ovulated, so that Tuesday we used pre-seed. I've been using pre-seed throughout the 7 months. I mean, during the 7 months we weren't trying, like we were, BDing and stuff, but we BDing when we wanted to BD, I wasn't tracking very well, I wasn't timing it or anything like that. But every time we did, we always used pre-seed. But I knew I wouldn't fall pregnant without help. But we used pre-seed again that Tuesday when we had BD. So that could have helped as well. Either way, I recommend pre-seed. It's a fantastic, and anything, you try anything. Also, I wore my fertility gemstone bracelet. You may have seen it in a few previous videos. It's just gemstones that help fertility and implantation. Again, you don't know if these things work, but you try anything and everything. And I also had like a fertility goddess symbol charm under my pillow the whole cycle and the whole month of July. So again, these things might not even work or might not even believe in them, but you try anything and everything. Okay, so the biggest things I think that I have done differently that I've never done before is to eat foods that help implantation the day after the IUI. So this time I did the pineapple core. I got a fresh pineapple. I cut it. There's tons of information about this on Google and on baby website forums, that sort of stuff. I just had the core. I didn't have the actual flesh, and I just had a slice of it every day for 7 days. I think some said 5 days, some said 7 days. So I did 7 days. And I also had a handful of walnuts every day, because walnuts can also help implantation. So I did those 2 things that I'd never done before on the 2-week wait. And I'm pregnant. And I got really good high progesterone. I got really good high HCG. So fingers crossed it's implanted nice and snugly and is in deep and growing happily. My last miscarriage, they said that it never implanted properly. It was there, but it never implanted properly. So I'm hoping that this time I've got a really nice, secure, comfy implantation. I also ate a lot of vitamin-rich foods that will help The lining, again, you can just Google what foods can help thicken your lining, anything like that. I think having CoQ10 every day for the past 7 months, 10 months also helps. It can help because CoQ10 can help with egg health. My husband, like I said, kept up with his vitamins and supplements, and we both constantly drank tons of water. Especially leading up to my IUI, I was definitely having at least 2 liters of water a day to try and have a lot of CM, because I didn't have any fertile CM when I had my previous IUI. This time I had loads, so I think definitely a lot of water intake helped. I think that's it, all we did. I think the positivity helped as well. My husband's a very positive person. I can be a very negative person, and so we kind of balance each other out. And so he was positive the whole time. Like, as soon as this cycle started, he's going, this is it, this is it, this is going to work. He was very positive. My doctor's a very positive person. He was very confident that the cycle was going to work as well. He said at the end of our IUI that you can't get much more perfect than this, and he'll be very shocked if I don't end up pregnant. And he was right. I'm pregnant. So I think everything just fell into place, and it just worked out. And it's amazing what a faith and hope and prayer can do. You know, maybe it was in God's plan all this time to make me wait till July, and that was the time, that this was the plan. I was meant to get pregnant now. And obviously I'm still extremely nervous. I think I will be until I'm actually holding that baby in my arms. I go for my ultrasound soon to confirm that, and to check on implantation to make sure it's nice and snug in there. So I'll do another update as soon as I get any more news. Again, I do updates very quickly on Facebook and regularly, so if you want to keep up to date, that's a good way to do it. Feel free to ask me any questions at all below or on Facebook, and I will always get back to you, especially on Facebook. So I shall talk to you all again soon. I hope these tips have helped in some way. Yeah, so feel free to ask me any questions, and I shall talk to you all again real soon.